So let's take a look at how we can start putting some skin on our character. So I have my character all done, and all I did from the last video is pretty much just name the middle joints. So what I'm going to do is simply going to go to the outliner over here, and let's actually have the outliner right over here. And let's hold down shift and open the plus sign. So I'm just going to select, hold down control, and I'm going to select all these joints. And anything that's not named, you can see that the one above the head, which is that joint over there, is not named. I'm going to skip that. And that's the reason I didn't name them, so I know exactly which one I'm selecting. But everything else is nicely named. This one I got to skip, the one finger. And you'll also see the advantage of why you should rename. So there you go, we've selected everything, all the toes. Let's double check. The joints are not selected. Great. So we've selected all the joints right here. And pretty much after that, I'll shift select my model. And he's got his texture. So I'm just turned it off right now. So we'll select the model as well. And I'll go under skin, bind skin. And there's lots of different methods of binding your skin. So I'm going to just use the smooth bind. So let's go to smooth bind. And by default, it's on joint hierarchy, so I'm going to say selected joints. And also I'm going to say colorized skeleton. I kind of like that. Everything else I'm going to leave the same. Let's just say bind skin. So there we go. So pretty much at this point, you can see that right over here. Let's close this. You can see that when the joints are selected in the outputs, there's something called skin cluster. If I select the character, you can see that the joints are all colorized, and in the inputs of the joints, there's the skin cluster. If you want to detach the skin, you simply select the character and go to skin, detach skin. Also, if you now go and rotate this guy, you can see nicely our guy is moving right there, so you can start posing him. If you ever feel that if you just go right here, and if you want to go back to his default pose, you can go to skin, go to bind pose with some joints selected. So basically in this character, this is a simple character, so everything looks fine. But let's say in some cases that if something wasn't right, so if I was trying to rotate the character, you can see that right here, this is deforming, and this is a little too much, I feel. So that's where the skinning process comes in, editing the skin. So how will you edit the skin? I'm going to show you two different ways. The one is the most common way. You select the character, you go to skin. Since we did a smooth skin, you go to edit smooth skin, and you go to paint skin weights. So let's go to paint skin weights tool. Let's click on that. And over here, this is why it was important to name all our joints. You can see all these joints are showing over here in a hierarchy. I can also show them alphabetically. If I had not named those joints, just imagine it'll be so difficult. It'll say joint 1, joint 2, and you wouldn't know at that point what is joint 23. So right now, I'm going to go down over here to left up leg, and you can see left up leg is influencing all the way till here. Now what just happened, this little red circle is pretty much a painting brush. If you hold down B as in brush, and left mouse button will take the size of the brush down. And you've got some nice little tools over here. Come down over here. There's lots of new things that have been added in Maya 2012, but we're not going to go over those right now. So let's just look at replace. Is pretty much, right now I can start painting, and you can see that it's going to, pretty much with that joint selected, it's also going to influence over here. So the color white in this case is going to paint the weights in, and the color black is going to take away the weights. So if I increase my brush size, that's going to take away the weight. So if I just go to 0, that's going to take away the influence rather. So right now I don't want all these areas to be influenced. So right there. And always remember, you do not paint on a face. You always paint on a vertex. It's all about weighting your vertices. You can see right there. So with that, pretty much you will start checking all the sides, you can see, and you can also mirror in this case, but you'll pretty much start checking all your sides and taking away the weights in some case, or painting in the weights, so you can have a value of 0.5 or 1 and painting in the weights in some case. So that's what you'll start doing, and pretty much try to make sure that your model is nicely weighted. So you can see that this is still being influenced a little bit. It's a little better. Now, in some cases, painting will not really work the way you wanted it to. See, in this case right now, I can just go back over here and say skin, go to bind pose. So in some cases, like I said, painting won't work the way you wanted it to. So there's another way. You can right click, go to vertex, select some vertices over here. So let's say if I select some of these, let's first check exactly which area. So let's say it's that area over there. I don't want it to really deform quite as much. Let's say right up around there. I can select those vertices and I can go to Window, General Editors, Component Editor, and you can see those two vertices are selected. And you can see that they've been affected. If I go under Smooth Skins, you have to click on that tab. They're being affected by the Spine 1, Spine 2, which is okay. They're kind of near the Spine 1 and Spine 2. Root, which is this guy. But they're also being affected by the right leg, which I don't really like that much. So I'll just type in 0 on this. Then I can also, left toe is affecting it for some reason. Even if it's 0.05, I don't want it to do that. So let's take that away. And you can see that left up leg, one of the vertices is being affected like 0.4. So I really don't like that. So let's take it down to like 0.2, like a little, not too much. And root is fine, and so is the Spine 1 and Spine 2. So with that said, let's do that, and you can see that it's a little less. It's still there, but it's a little less. And in a cartoony character like this, I'm okay if it's still affecting a little bit. But other than that, our character is pretty much ready to go. You can see right there. I can also, one cool thing in Maya, I can simply select all these joints one by one. Let's actually reference our character, so that way we don't accidentally select him. But I can nicely do this, and you can see that nicely he's all ready to go. And you can see there's a little pinching over there again, which you can fix. But really, in every case, you'll have to go to each joint, and you can see this is nice. He's just got a little palm, light, cute little palm, but everything else looks fine. And this one is okay too, a little macaroni kind of feel over there, but that's fine. It's just a simple cartoony character, very simple character. If the head doesn't look right, again, select the character. You can do it a lot of different ways. You can select the character, skin, edit smooth skin, and you can go to paint skin weights tool. You will just have to go down over here and you'll have to select the head and see what all it's influencing. Now you can see clearly that some of them are not being influenced properly. Replace, I'm at the value of 1, and I'll just start painting in these vertices right here. And you can see immediately they're nicely deforming. And if you want, you can take this down, because this is also being affected by some of the neck area, or take the brush size down and start painting in. So this is how you'll do your skinning process for the entire character. So after this video, we'll start putting our scene together, where this character will be in a nice scene with some trees and a nice little some other images that we can use, some from the panda scene, and we'll put a nice scene together where this character is with his this one cow, and do the whole deforestation project. We'll start putting that project together.